sort of hexacan.
Welcome to the Worst Damn Crypto Show, period. I'm your host, Romanian Dan. I got with me Allan Fizame and Hex Turtle. What's up, guys?
What's cracking, boys?
Boy, that is a wonderful intro. I've heard it before, just waiting for the stream. But man, sitting in here, no wonder it pumps you guys up.
Get your tacos and burritos out, bro.
Yeah, people seem to like it. So what's up, guys? How was your week? We were talking in the green room earlier. Allan said he hasn't been around for a while, so really not much going on. We pumped a little bit.
I saw that. It's fantastic. I think this is the relief pump, by the way. So if anyone's getting any ideas that we're done, this is what a relief pump looks like. I'm not a chart expert, but my guess is we'll probably go up to like maybe 4 or 5 cents, and then down we go for a bit. So don't ape in. I would never ape in. DCA your way in. But it's really nice to see the price up. It definitely got the mood of the community, I think, in a better position to not be killing each other over nonsense. So really happy to see that.
A 2.5x pump. Oh my goodness, that is a wonderful prediction. That to not FOMO in on that alone, and knowing that you're going to stake out on a ladder between 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Man, those people better hold some liquid. Otherwise, they're not going to know what it's like when we go up a 10x during a bull market.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it last year. So when did I get into X? Was it 2021? I can't even remember. So yeah, it's almost 2 years for me. And I saw it right when it hit a penny, didn't pay attention. And then all of a sudden, I just had some leftover BTC on Bitmart. And that trading pair on Bitmart is actually the Hex BTC one. And I was super confused, saw HODL dog with a bunch of weird charts, got turned off. But I kept seeing it in green, 15%, 20% every single time. And finally, I went in like around 2 cents, right around this range. And and I FOMO'd in at the top, by the way. Once we hit like 50 cents and above, I went in hard. And it's difficult not to do that, and that's the only reason I'm telling people now. I know 4 cents, 5 cents, it's going to be, people think it's going to be like before, but I personally think we're going to hit that. We're going to dip back down. It's just going to happen. So, but stake him out. Don't think about him. Get some yield. 15 years. Do an HSI. If you really need to get out of your stake in 4 years because the gains are way too much, then go ahead and sell that HSI. Get some ICOSA. And figure it out. But yeah, just throwing that out there.
So the biggest thing to remember, especially last year, right before the sacrifice phase, we were sitting around 1.3 cents, 1.4 cents, and anything between 1.1 and 1.9 was a great deal. Mm-hmm. And then the sacrifice phase was announced, and then it went up to around 13 cents. The reasons why I believe that Hex pumped so much is A, the game theory was so good, but also Hex was just an easy sell. You could buy it and then you could send it to the sacrifice set and no expectations, but that wasn't going to dump the Hex. Whereas anything else that you sent, the price on it was probably going to go down. Yep. And a lot of the buys that were going in were also getting sent to that sacrifice set. And we had a huge number of people that had sacrificed Hex. And you can look on the list of coins that were sacrificed. And Hex is number one, boy.
Yep. I sacrificed my entire Hex back because I had it all liquid.
Do you think that you would feel better today having taken that out and not sacrificed for Pulse, so you would have realized everything at the top?
Nope, absolutely not. I'm glad I sacrificed it. No matter what price, I'm glad I sacrificed it because it's twofold, right? Like you mentioned, it isn't going to get sold, and the game theory was fantastic because it was pumping. So I didn't do it all at once. I went ahead and bought a bag that I already had, that I was accumulating. I was learning about T-shares at that time, and still, because it took me a while to really like click as to how I was going to lay everything out. I was doing, some weird math in my head, but I was like, you know what, screw it, just send everything in there. I want this new thing. I'm going to be able to buy, a little bit more. This is relatively inexpensive because I was used to buying other things that were, above $1. So anything under $1 for me was like, oh my God, look at all these units. And I'm happy I did because I ended up sacrificing stuff somewhere around the 30 cent range. It was fantastic. And then I saw it dip. So I'm glad I didn't take any profits out of it. I don't have to pay any taxes out of it. It all stays in DeFi. The IRS can't touch any of that, so I'm very, very happy that I threw all that in there as much as I could. So I want to say about 40% of all of the hex I ever bought went into the sacrifice phase.
You were talking
that's
about
great to be in a day one. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, to be day one of a Richard Hart project. Can't get better than that. I don't think you can go wrong. So yeah. Go ahead, Turtles. My bad.
No, my bad. I'm always a talker. You know how that is. My mouth doesn't ever stop talking. So in terms of, you said that you've been gone for a hot minute. Been gone for months or a week or how long?
Who, me? 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. Oh
yeah,
gosh,
that's
2 weeks.
that's a long time in crypto, bro. That's like 5 years.
Yeah, no, that's so let's see what's happened in the last 2 weeks. Well, there was a stealth launch of the TEXAN token, and that was by Rags to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat. My assumption before was that they launched because there was a scam token that got launched and it had a similar name. Well, just recently when I was looking through the Telegram, that's not the case. It was more like kind of a political move because the people are going to be going to some sort of event, and this is like something in their back pocket that they can have as, hey, look, we also have this behind us. So it was more, from what I can tell, because of the TNM, the Texas National Movement, more than it was the scam token, which is good in and of itself.
Perfect. Yeah, I had a bunch of messages. So I just a couple of days ago, I had Sandy Beach send me some messages, HOA send me some messages, I had a few others. It's like, yeah, it's out there. It's not a scam. And I didn't understand why they thought it was a scam, but that makes a lot more sense now. Or why people thought it was a scam anyway, and why they had to verify that. But I threw that thing out 22 years. So hopefully that helps the ecosystem. My little million free.
Even when it goes down to getting that stake, you get those coins. If it is your regular hex bag that you have stakes from, the best thing to learn is you need to push that stuff out into a different wallet that is not your current hex bag. Why? You just don't want to have everything compromised, and also you're approving contracts to a wallet. So I had to set up my own TEXAN wallet, so that way, guess what? It doesn't touch my regular hex bag. And it's just one of those things that you should do typically. It's like my HEDRON staking bag. It's in a different wallet than my hex one.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, security 101, at least from within the community, I think. Definitely set that up that way. Got Phamous in the house. Hey, welcome to your own show, sir.
Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry for being late. I passed the fuck out, man. Oh, man. I ate so good today. Oh.
What is it about eating all that food that makes you go into a coma, man? I don't get it.
It's Sunday. My body's pre-wired, man. It's like Sundays used to be Granada's house, and like used to go eat and just eat your brains out and then pass out and then go to school on Monday. Oh, man. But it's just because it's 1 a.m. for me, man. It's just tired. I got shit to do tomorrow morning. But I just want to take a nap,
bro.
Yo, I put like fucking 16 alarms, man. Anyways, I'm here. I'm not gonna miss it. I promised I wouldn't miss it. I gotta practice. I gotta get this, and I gotta get Wednesdays too. Wednesdays I have to wake up at 3 a.m. for RG. It's gonna be deep, but it is what it is, man. And we're live, cocksuckers.
And we're live.
Fucking.
What's up, Tat?
What's
How do I come across with the background? Usually I lag out a little bit if I have a
You'll have to put on
a
that
background
background
in.
too.
You're looking
you're
good. I haven't seen you
What's
lag.
up, Turtle? Thanks for
Perfect.
coming on, Turtle. Alan,
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah, thank you.
My
No
Brody
problem.
Trap.
Damn,
by the
come on,
way,
guys. I wish I could
what
smoke
you-
with y'all boys.
What
right
you
now.
smoking? What you smoking on, boy? What you smoking on? You know,
What he call this?
can't hear you.
Black and mild.
Black and white. That's that Philly cheese.
By the way, Crypto Cashew says your tonsils are doing fine, famous.
Yeah, they probably are. I'm having some more. I'm having some coffee.
You know, Tap, I remember seeing a lot of your posts on Twitter. You were probably one of the first dudes from Hex that I followed next to Bitfinesse and a couple other people. I think it was from those little shorts that you were posting, man. I gotta say, bro, I love your goddamn hair. Like every single time I look at that shit, I'm like, man, this guy's living the dream. Every single freaking thing you do. And I know that like people cater social media to see what they want people to see. But bro, I think even if we just took random photos of you all the time, it'd be just like we freaking see in your fucking photos. I think you're just live streaming your whole life.
That's basically the vibe. In all honesty, my journey with this whole hex thing, this whole crypto, the people, what's going on, like how I'm feeling, and what's hell. I freaking documented my whole McDonald's journey just to get. And I was surprised how many I got a lot of good. That one. A lot of people.
How you enjoying TikTok?
I'm starting to learn more like how to use it. I'm going like photos and me talking in the background, to get a little better at it.
Rich, man. Yo, send the link to the trap. We need a trap in this
Gravity.
motherfucker.
I sent it
Okay,
to
well,
him.
before we
He's
get on
asking
to
you for
that,
it? He's
So-
asking you for it, Famous?
No, yeah, it was on the phone with me. He called me. Hilarious.
Yeah, Hex Turtle God. Is your Twitter handle Hex Turtle God?
you are correct, sir. Hex God
Alright,
Turtle.
cool.
Yep.
Hex. Okay. I'm gonna
He's
tag
the
you
only
real
one
quick.
with that soothing voice.
And the one thing that I just did today, and Famous, you're going to see it possibly. I think I might have tagged you. I put in an application for Nexo to possibly list Hex. Now, I know people hate centralized exchanges typically. And one of the things during the whole process of me filling out all this information, it said, make a poll asking if your token would want to be used as a collateralized asset for crypto-backed loans. That was the thing. So I made a post about it. And the biggest reason why I thought about it was an fiat on and off ramp through a centralized exchange with 5 million users. Our 400,000 holders probably won't use it. Our 133,000 stakers, well, they're staked. They can't use it. So who are going to get the eyes of Hex? The Nexo people, the people that are already on the centralized exchange. And is the OA going to give money to Nexo? No, never. They're what are they going to do? I sent the application and they're going to say, okay, OA, send us coins. Okay, no. Who's going to give them coins? The users who want the loans. And who are they? Probably the same people who use HSIs and borrow against themselves anyway. A small subset, a niche of people that want to do this. So I think it's only plus from there. And if people go to Hex God Turtle on Twitter and you see the poll, if you do not want it, click no. If you want it, click yes. And I encourage everyone who doesn't want it, list in the replies why centralized exchanges are bad. List why you don't want Hex to be listed there. Why it would be a horrible idea for it to be a collateralized asset.
I'll go vote right now.
Y'all
I
heard
really
him.
couldn't
Make
give
sure
a
you
shit,
go
but
to
that's
the
awesome
tool.
that you're doing that. I couldn't give a shit, but that's awesome that you're doing that. You try, man.
Thank you for
No,
answering
I mean, to
truthfully,
me-
Famous.
I'm being honest. Twitter
I know,
knows.
I know, I know.
I love that he's doing it, but I just couldn't give a shit, man. I'll be honest. I'm gonna put it like, yes, do it. It is what it
Let's
is.
keep
That's
it
not
100.
gonna change. It's not gonna change anything. It's not
For
gonna
me,
change anything.
the only great positive I can see is on Hex, of course, just that's like what 5 million. I guess that's one positive, but yeah, a fan of centralized exchanges. He just who are Hex again, so who knows?
And the people that they get. So we all know that Hex is a niche, staking is a niche, trading is a niche. So fine, we have 400,000 users, 133,000 stakers, and they have 5 million users. If 10% buy Hex, probably 10% of that is going to actually do research on it, because we're just going to assume only 1% of the people that buy it actually learn about Hex. And they see, oh, hey, I can only stake it. Well, we have 4 centralized exchanges that list Hex, and 0 of them allow any yield. Bitrue, which has power piggy options and gives you staking yield for all these other coins that have no inflation, have no payouts. But why don't they do it for Hex, the one that they could easily stake and give out coins to people? I find that weird. But they have four exchanges that don't use that option. And Nexo would be no different. So the people who look at it and go, hey, I want to stake this thing. How do I do it? Through Nexo. And they go to Google. How to stake Hex. Shit. You go to go.hex.com. What the fuck is that? You pull your stuff out. So we're going to maybe get 1% of the people that want to buy this particular token. Small 1%. But then the bull market comes. Ridiculous.
There's the results right now.
Oof.
42% said yes, 57.3% no. We do not want Hex on an exchange.
Nah, not yet.
And see, the amazing part is that started out at 66% and 33%. So the yays are slowly breaking up there. And I would never use a loan asset, sort of like the HSI borrowing feature. I don't want to lose my damn Hex, even by any possibility. But do you know how many Hexicans use that freaking borrow feature? I don't, because I don't look at those metrics.
There's a lot at those metrics every couple of days. Look at the live auction, using it heavy.
Yeah, and those are the same exact people who would use this sort of thing. And that, it's not me. I don't do it. So guess who's not going to use that shit? Me. There might be some time when I look at that and they say, hey, 10,000 Hex gets you $10,000. And boy, I don't know what I'd do with that. Maybe I'd do that. But that's where they have only one incentive, a crypto-backed loan. Otherwise, what do we have as decentralized options? We got HEDRON airdrops. We got all the airdrops specifically aimed at Hexicans that you have to claim for. And if you're in a centralized exchange, you can't get those. So we have way better decentralized incentives than any centralized entity can ever offer for Hex.
Well, if what do you think will happen? Let's say it gets listed right, and then these people start going to the Telegrams, they see the Twitter, they see RH, and everybody's telling them to use centralized exchanges. Obviously, they're not going to know that we pushed for it, right? And they're just going to know that it's on there. I mean, what do you think happens to those people's heads once they discover it? And they're going to, to me personally, knowing that potentially we're the ones pushing it, right? If it does happen, what do we then tell them, sorry, you got wrecked? Then we bring them over, this is how you do it, right? Hopefully they didn't lose too much money while they were doing it. Not to be super contentious, I'm just sort of thinking out loud. As to how
when I was on an exchange, I bought my very first cryptocurrency. And for 2 years, I didn't know anything about using a hardware wallet to the extent that I do now. When I first saw it, I went to Trezor.io and I looked and it said, you can hold 3 crypto assets on your hardware wallet. And I said, oh, well, that's shitty. So I got to buy fucking 10 wallets to hold 30 coins? That's stupid. And I never thought about it because at the time they didn't have the smart contracts with a whole bunch of ERC20s. So you would have had to if you were using separate networks. Well, now that you have an ERC20 and it says Ethereum, you can send any ERC20 to an Ethereum address. So if you have 100 ERC20s, you still only need one Trezor. Great. I didn't know that. When I bought this particular token and then eventually the community said, hey, you can pull your stuff out to the wallet. What the hell is that? It's not an exchange. What the hell is that? You have $200? Yes. You can take that out of the exchange? You can do that? Yeah, you can do that. How many people on Nexo don't know that they can pull coins out because the coins that they have no reason to pull them out? They're stocks with extra BS. They're, I invest in Walmart. I invest in PPETF. Okay, what are you doing? I'm waiting for the price to go up. And then what? Then I sell it. There's no incentive for them to even learn about self-custody. Whereas, did they have incentive to learn about self-custody beforehand? Well, Richard Hart launched Hex. And the only way you could get Hex is if you pulled your Bitcoin out of the exchange and you free claimed using your Bitcoin. Well, that's a damn good incentive. Well, what about getting your PulseChain copies? If you don't have your coins on an exchange, you get a copy. So it's all about offering incentives to get people off. When you talk about people possibly going there, and yes, centralized exchanges are bad, they're going to buy Hex, be from Nexo. They're going to go and search and say, okay, Hex Telegram, don't use centralized exchanges. Well, I just bought it from here. Can you stake? Here's the problems with it. Oh, shit. And then they learn from there, and then they can go decentralized, like we do through option to get Ethereum, then swap to Hex. Or they're going to continue to buy through the centralized exchange and never send their money out. And then it gets shut down. And then they realize, fuck, these guys were smart. They were telling me to take my coins off of this thing. And then we got Poloniex, we got Bitrue, we got 2 other exchanges that already have Hex. And they don't even have more than, I think one of them's got $500,000 worth of Hex in dollars. Bitrue, I think, maybe has like $97,000. So the amount that they actually have is very piddly dick to the actual market cap and circulating supply, as well as the amount that the holders have.
Okay. I can see that. Again, personally, because I've been in the space for so long, I can't even think of wanting certain things in like Hex in a centralized exchange or like HEDRON. I don't think HEDRON's listed anywhere. But I suppose that can be in. And I mean, is Nexo? Where's Nexo? Is it a U.S. exchange?
It's mostly the when they offer their yield, it can be done for European peoples. Otherwise, it's mostly in Europe, and then they also do operate in America, from what I know.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, with all the centralized exchanges right now, with all the things that happened this past year, right? I'd be hard pressed to think that people would. I mean, yes, when you first start in crypto, when you first hear about it, you're most likely going to be touching a centralized exchange. You don't figure it out. You think you're good, but with all this information, maybe you're right. Maybe people, that's in the back of their heads, they're going to do a little bit more research. I don't know how much. I mean, how many assets do they have on here? I'm trying to look right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they probably list somewhere around 60 assets altogether. How much promotion are they going to give to Hex? Are they going to put the right information on there? I don't know if they have little bios for each single one of them. What are going to be the trading pairs on there? Is that something that within the application that you did, is that something you suggest? Is that something that the exchange itself picks? I think a lot of those things will matter because when I went in, my trading pair was BTC, and it was ratio trading for me, and I didn't quite understand what was going on. So I'm just a little curious as to what that looks like. Should it catch on? What are the you seem to understand a little bit more, or a lot more than I do, as far as what centralized exchanges look at and how they're going to potentially pair anything that they put on there and what they're going to do with that.
So I learn every day. But like, for example, with Bitrue, they base the trading pair on what the volume should be. So for example, if this thing is existing on the XRP ledger, it probably only trades with XRP. It doesn't trade with Bitcoin. There are some assets that they say everything will trade with Bitcoin. On Hex, on Bitrue, they trade only Hex USDT. The problem with Voyager last year, besides for the fact that it went down and people lost all their freaking money, was that whenever you would buy a coin on there, sometimes if you go to withdraw it, they would send an email out, and this little email would say, "I'm sorry, we got to take some time to acquire the asset so we can send it to you." The hell? You just let me buy it, though. I don't have my other token that I was supposed to buy. So they had to go out to buy and acquire the token before I could send it out. We already talked about how the OA, you, me, Phamous, Tap, Romanian Dan, 58% of the users are not going to send money there. So if it is paper trading, like we know most of these exchanges do, and I were to put in $100,000 of my already paper on-ramped money of Nexo into Hex, and no one's sending Hex in, don't they have the obligation to go and buy Hex from a decentralized exchange, put that $100,000 that they got in there, get that, acquire it, put it in their exchange, and then if that person says, I need to withdraw it, they withdraw it. Then you have the possibility, just like with Binance, oh no, you can only pull 1 ETH out per day. We won't allow you to pull it out unless you do another 24-hour wait. Sure. Then you get the email from Nexo saying, I'm sorry, we don't have your asset. We need to go collect your asset. Son of a bitch. I hate centralized exchanges, but they have to acquire that token somehow when they list it. So I see if at anything, Hexicans aren't putting Hex there, they have to go acquire it. How do they acquire it? They buy it. And who do they buy it from? Our dumbasses that are sitting here waiting. We have an average from what I looked at, 100 and because it said the average volume trading, and I hope I did it right because I put it in. It was about 191 million as our average over the last 6 months trading volume monthly. 193 million. That's a lot during a bear market. That's a lot of money that was being put in, whether it's a down month or an up month. $193 million of volume over the last 6 months average. Holy crap. That's huge. And now if they want to have any cut of that, what if they buy some Hex and they make a 10-year stake? Okay, they remove that. Can they offer that yield to their customers? Sure. Are they beholden to give it to them? Terms of service, no expectations, right? But they can offer free yield based on their Hex stakes and give it out just to Nexo users. They could buy straight from the decentralized exchange. If they played the game right, they would be able to do so much smart shit with Hex that they wouldn't need to even worry about buying Hex anymore because they're generating it and then they're selling it to their users. And then their users do whatever the fuck they want with it.
Do they know this?
That's still not the moneymaker, though.
Yeah.
Right. And I did mention everything in there whenever it came down to their application, the trading volume. I gave decent incentives. Like one of the funny things, here's what it said. What partnerships will you offer Nexo? And I said, no expectation of profits from the work of others, comma. However, Hexicans did raise $27 million for the Sens charity. Hexicans did raise over $100,000 for a NASCAR. Hexican did raise money
What?
for
100,000?
documentary.
Oh, you should have wrote off almost $1 million.
Six. I think it was 600. Yeah.
God damn.
Yep.
Okay, well, out of all my shit, I only had one incorrect statement. Well, I said 200. I said over 200,000. So, but either way, the fact that our community will gladly do partnerships. Oh, and that we had the UFC partnership somehow. We had the football team partnership somehow. That partnerships happen and things happen based on community efforts. But there's no guarantee. There's literally zero guarantee that even Hexicans will use the process. There's zero guarantee that we're going to even do any promotion for you. Like the most that they get right now is this poll. And their poll says, F you centralized exchanges. So, hey, they're going to learn.
I don't know, man. I think we have a long way to go, man. the dreams every Mexican has for this coin is a bit far-fetched because we're at a point where there's billions and there's only millions available to purchase. And that's a problem.
So when I remember last year, a lot of the hexagons, and you know, it might just be bullish fever that they had. We were sitting in the Telegram and they were all going, "Oh, I can't wait for a hex to be a world reserve currency and we can collateralize our assets with hex and we can do all this shit." And then a fucking year later, you say, "Hey, would you like to get on this platform that can collateralize your hex?" No! What the fuck? You guys were all horny about it last year. I sat there for 3 hours listening to you guys talk about how this would be a great thing. Like,
But then,
Well, you know what'll be really good if you can short it, because then Richard will hop on that.
How does that? How does that? I still don't understand how that would even make sense. But
Is it somebody making that for PulseChain? Isn't
so yep, Phamous.io, I believe, is doing that collateralized assets.
yes.
And so the benefit here, so here's the benefit, okay? We got the centralized option that's doing that, which everyone says, fuck no. And then we have the decentralized option, which people say, kind of fuck no, but yes. They don't like the other one because it's a risk one way or another. Well, now who's going to have to compete for number one? The decentralized option is going to hopefully compete and make some transparency that the centralized options can't have. So it gives us a good competition. Centralized authorities don't have shit on the decentralized community, the developers that build something better. So yeah, I am all about giving Phamous.io a competitor to some extent because I know they're going to crush it out of the park. 100%. And if they don't, I'm going to eat my words here on stream.
oh man, we got a long way to go, man. Oh, everyone doing little stakes, man. We're still hooked on that, like, on that T-share, man. It's still low as fuck for it to be worth anything. Or else it gives out too much. If it gives out too much, then it's not useful. It just dumps more. So like when you look at like how Bitcoin, like it didn't really do much at the beginning because like what was the point of buying it when you could mine it? So it's kind of like right now, if you, for certain people, the way they see it is like, well, why would I buy it when I could, you know, stake it? And some people have those big stakes, and that's why people don't come in. Also, I think like the big exchanges don't come in because it's like, well, how much are they gonna buy? You can't buy much. There's like 150 million. It's you're asking for it, in my opinion. We're asking for it to ask for hex to go to 50 cents. I think you're asking for it, especially nowadays. It wouldn't make sense. Having everything route through us, and like it would just not make sense. It would be very lucrative, but no one's even like there's no one that could get it. Like you can't really get that much of a position in the liquidity. Also, it's like we're gatekeeping ourselves in a way. I don't think people realize that. And right now, especially that people are just dropping the price to get into other things. I think the best solution right now is for people to start creating liquidity and adding liquidity, adding hex to different liquidities and spreading it out. So like that you create more of a stability. But it's hard to make people understand that because it's too sacrificial at this moment in time. That's why a PulseChain is like everyone's like, oh, PulseChain, low fees. Like it's gonna be like, nah, man. There's gonna be like 2 billion fucking hex available to purchase. Like that's amazing. So my like predicament on this all shit is like, long story short, is like I see this transition where people are gonna start not giving a shit about hex on Ethereum, because they can't buy any of it. ETH Powell could have had that, but no one wanted to use ETH Powell. So if everyone wants to use PulseChain, then why would it not be like that? So I think right now, like everyone's just blinded by the way that other people are used to using it, and they don't see the innovation in it. They don't see the potential of the consequences like I do. I've been through this rodeo many times, and I think it's going to be much more complex than what people think. I think first mover advantage would be much more necessary. It's always necessary at the beginning. Also, you know, rethinking my whole strategy and stuff about it. I think that like you'll never have first mover advantage. You'll just have the knowledge of the first mover because you'll see what happens since you're the second. But I think the more and more I look at what's happening and more I understand that we won't have first mover advantage due to that bot. Which people need to understand. Then the second mover has a second different strategy, and I think being in pulse chain, people are going to take advantage of those liquidities, because there's going to be a lot of pulse all over the place, compared to what people are going to want to get. So they're going to have a bunch of bullshit. They're going to trade it back in, suck up everything, and then it's going to be like a race to like who wants to give up their pulse for coins that no one wants, right?
Well, and you are right. You know, spreading your money across or spreading the hex across every single liquidity, what that does is that instead replaces the idea of let's use wrapped Bitcoin, let's use ETH, let's use these other coins. And so you're spreading hex to other communities. So let's say you have, God, I don't want to name some shit coins.
It's not even that. It's like go right now and like buy or sell 5,000 wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. You're gonna get this routing mechanism where it's gonna go through all the USDT. It's gonna go through all the DAI. It's gonna go through so many pools, and it's not gonna create that slippage where you're supposed to get because you're just one pool. Due to that routing, it's allowing you to receive less slippage. That means that it's more liquid than you think. You know, there's only so much wrapped Bitcoin in liquidity compared to what's on chain, and you're able to trade so much of it and not get that much slippage, which is very important, in my opinion.
So
You know
we
what I mean?
have like 6 or 7 different pairs that are paired to hex. You're saying, just so I can get this clear, if we had 70 different pairs that were tied to hex, that would make it more liquid. Just making sure that that's what I heard.
Yeah, the more you have pools, the routing of the mechanism of how like the pools work, it's just better. So it creates more liquidity, so you get less of that chance. If you have one pool and only that much, it only creates that much, and you're only able to get that much, and there's that much slippage. But if you route, it's better. That's why ETH is like much more liquid, and you need that, and people just don't understand that. Like you need that liquidity, and that's why, you know, the main thing at the bottom of PulseX is is the AMM with the most liquidity. There's a reason why it says that, but no one counts for that. Everyone's like, oh yeah, staking. But it's like, dude, you don't understand shit. Like, like, anyways, it's just. I feel like it's gonna be much more. Like people are gonna have so much pulse, and people are just gonna want to trade it and just want to use the asset. But then the ones that are really gonna make the money are the people that are gonna provide it as liquidity. Pulse chain, PulseX, and yeah, I see a difference. There's gonna be something cool happening with that trifecta, that like frost, that triangular frostrum I used to talk about and blow people's ears apart. But you'll see. I see it. It's gonna happen.
Thank you, man. I love that explanation.
There's gonna be so much ties. It's like at the beginning, it's like Pulse Chain and PulseX have no liquidity, so you have to create it, right? And then what's the biggest thing going to be paired to it? Well, I hope it's going to be Hex. I hope it's going to be Hex.
What's going on, RDS?
What's going on, everybody? Good evening.
What's up, man?
What's that?
You guys talking about that crypto thingy?
I think it's something about a blockchain. I just tied my car down. Am I doing it right?
No, that's a blockhead.
Oh, I thought that's what I get called every day.
Yeah, that too. I'm just sitting here. I just finished playing my World of Warcraft mandatory 3 or 4 games. I got bored with it. So I said, hey, let me come check out, see what you guys are doing.
Just chilling, man. Yeah, it's late.
It's only 8:40 on the East Coast.
Only. It's 1:40 in the morning for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's rough. My hat's off to you for having the dedication to do it. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir.
It's nice to see. You all had a chance to go into all the different rooms today on Twitter.
On Twitter. Yeah, please.
No, I've been busy. Earlier today, I basically onboarded a person who was a no-coiner through a friend of mine who just
I
finally
heard the
recently.
story. I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard the story. Yeah.
Amazing. So it's really hard to talk to people about no-coin stuff or about self-custody, but there's a lot of misrepresentation, and I think a lot of us Hexicans can clear out the FUD. And if no one's actually listened to it, yesterday, Papa B had one of the best things through the conference. And if you search, it's 5,830 seconds in. So if you do a timestamp, 5,830 seconds into the hex stream from yesterday, Papa B has the best security talk at the conference so far, bar none, and it's very entertaining. My man, Trap Gravity. How are you, brother?
Let the bands play.
What up,
What's
Romanian?
going on?
It got spicy up in here.
What's up,
Tap?
Trap?
What's up, Tap?
Trap, what's up with you, man? How you doing?
Yes. And
What's
I
up,
don't
Trap?
know. I know who's that? What's up? Like I'm going about to walk outside and see if capture any of these girls that are falling from the sky that RDS is picking up. So that'd be awesome.
Oh, trap. You know, the funny thing about it is I don't go looking for them. They literally do fall out of the trees.
I know, dude. Everywhere you go. I guess when
It's like
I
the
want,
opposite
you know,
of that
and
perfect watch.
here's the
the
thing.
next Hex conference. RDS
Tomorrow, when I
back up
go
to the
back to the, well, tomorrow I don't get a chance to see her because I go to my training facility to get my weekly check-in. But I think Tuesday when I see her again, I'll take a picture with her in a Pulse Chain shirt so that you guys can see it's the real deal as usual.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Can we get her to promote PulseChain for us? You can pay her with
She's
dick.
super intelligent. She's a biochemical engineer. When I heard that, I was like very taken back by that. And she just got here too. She just finished her degree here in Florida.
Crazy.
Pretty cool. So what y'all up to? What y'all talking about?
Talking about women. Talking about gambling with all of our Pulse Chains and sell and rug everybody on. You know all that good stuff.
We also
How many
talked
people
about
I think really own PulseChain? How many people? Not wallets. We know there's 41,000 wallets or so. How many people is that?
I can't believe that people are actually contemplating selling that stuff. It's like so retarded. It's part of my French for the non-intellectual people.
I think it's probably about 70,000.
Yeah, I don't get that.
When
Like,
you look
I understand that people would want to sell and try to catch the whips and daves and the whips and waves of it, but honestly, if it's already sitting there, just let it sit there. Just let it do its thing. Just forget about it. Think about it like a year and a half, and then come back to it.
You know, people can't be still. Everybody can always do something.
Yep. You know, the ironic part is that most people haven't put together a budget of what they need to live every single year. So when they go to pull out that money, they're going to do overkill pulls, and then they're going to get stuck with all that money and taxes, and then they're going to have to figure out what to do with that money because they're not going to be able to capture the price point that they got it in. Spent too much time buying cars and Lambos and putting their kids through school, paying off their mistresses, and doing wherever else they need to do debauchery wise.
Mistresses.
That's going to happen 100%. Everybody's going to live the millionaire lifestyle, and then when the bear market comes, they're going to be
fucked.
So, Trap, you were asking how many people are actually in the PulseChain and PulseX sacrifices, like
no,
people, not
PulseChain.
Just PulseChain. Okay,
No, just PulseChain only. Yeah, PulseChain, just PulseChain.
So even better. So I was looking at it, and there's 139 just wallets that sacrificed $1, and the amounts between 1 to 100 are 5,180. So I'm going to assume at least 6,000 wallets are maybe duplicate wallets. So that's the base there. So overall, there was about 46,000 wallets, maybe 45,000 that might have sacrificed for PulseChain. So probably 25 to 30,000 are actual users. That's kind of my thought.
Yeah, well, look, you got that extra that you're at, like the 4,000 or 5,000. This is after the sacrifice. You got to look at their ratios too. You know, the ratio that they're getting.
Well, weren't most of those extra ones? Because I remember Rich said at a certain point he was going to just give those over to the PULSEX sacrifice instead of the PULSECHAIN one. He said at a certain point, I don't remember what day it was, but he basically said once the price per pulse point was too high, he said, we're just going to assume they wanted PULSEX. And I don't remember when he said that, but I remember it was like right
I remember it was
near
something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that, where because he shut down the pulse. Was it PULSECHAIN or was it opposite? Was it PULSECHAIN or PULSEX sacrifice? He shut down.
because at a
He was
certain point it was like,
pushing
well,
what on
PULSECHAIN,
Sunday.
yeah, that was like 25 to 30, 40 cents per point. And at a certain point, he just said, no, we'll just give them PULSEX. And it was ridiculous. Like if people were sacrificing, they were going to get like 2 points.
Once again, Richard saving people.
No joke.
100%.
As always.
I like
Very nice.
Romanian's little get up tonight, man. It's Sunday night. You fucking got this coat on, button up, looking sharp, man.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to look nice for the Hex conference.
You're going on the Hex conference?
Are you on the Hex conference?
No.
Oh,
No.
I was about to say, you like you
I
got
was
the
about to say,
background
what
right
the
now.
hell? I ain't see it on the list.
That'd be cool if you were on it and you could bring us all in there with you. You know, inside of your one little window, it was all of us.
RDS with the fucking unicorn. Look at
Well,
that.
Yeah, we were thinking of doing like a parody in the next couple of weeks on it or something. But
Let's do it.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
down.
I don't
I'm
know.
down. And we're live.
That'd be
We're
cool. That'd be
live.
cool. Do it.
Trap, you did so good. I was about to say Trap should do that, and you did it so fucking well, bro. I think you can mock voices. I love it.
I mean, that's one of the first things I heard whenever, you know, if you go back, I mean, that's what I'll give. Only thing I'll give Matty credit for is he's been around for a long ass time. You know, whenever I first found Hex in February of 21, Matty was one of the, I was kind of tripped out at first because, you know, he was like talking about power and points and like, I was like, is this a Dragon Ball Z or is this a Power Rangers group or what? What am I in? What am I really getting myself into? Pokemon? It's like, shit. All right, whatever. I'll kept listening to Richard, though. Always. So, but yeah. Matty unblocked me. Matty all in, unblocked me.
congratulations.
Yay, Maddie! Congratulations.
I'm hoping that by the end of the stream, I'll actually be the new owner of a 1944 Superman comic book. Waiting for the auction to
I hope so
finish up.
too.
I'm hoping a girl just
I
falls
can't
from
do
the
it
sky for
without
me
fucking
tonight.
mask.
That's all I want.
That sounds cool.
I have a Superman one that I'm looking at right now to spend my extra cash, but I guess it's only going to be Superman. There's another Wonder Woman one that's really nice, but oh well. That's what I'm investing in, meanwhile everyone's not investing in anything. So
Do you have
That
expectations
unicorn.
of
There's
Combine
profit of
lots
something
of
those
you
to
could
grow?
invest in right now at like a low. You could damn near invest in something at the bottom of this bear market. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called hex.com.
no, what's that?
I think that's going to hold more money than comic books.
Nah, not so much, my buddy. Not so much.
Hey, you're talking to somebody that's been in sports cards since the 80s, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, sometimes it is true that it will be more, but dollar cost average right now because everyone's hurting so much. As an example, I picked up a brand new collection for $300, and just one comic book alone was valued at
Oh yeah, if you're buying it from
$3,200.
the bottom.
Huh?
But I'm
I
talking
said this
about if you're
unicorn.
trying to get it at auction, like
He's just talking with the unicorn.
No. Like, well, this specific auction, this specific comic book, I've been watching it for a while. There's 45 people bidding on it. But the problem of it is that this type of comic book doesn't come up often because it's graded, and there's only 6 in existence in the entire planet.
well, let me tell you the truth about that. There's only probably 5 people bidding on it. It's
No,
only
no,
technically five, but it's
you have to
probably
actually be
five
you
of
actually have to
them
be
have 3
vetted
accounts.
to get into this auction. You actually they actually check to make sure that you have the funds to buy this thing.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you can get buddies, you know. Say, hey, bid on this. She'll bid on this. You ever heard of shield bidding?
Of course.
You know what happens, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what happens.
That's why you just got to
Take a
spend
joke.
more money than them. That's all. But yeah, but seriously, I picked up a collection, and just one comic book alone was worth $3,200 out of the collection. So I made my money then and then some. So just keep the ones that I want and get rid of the rest, and reinvest in Hex and whatever else.
Oh yeah, dude, I think
Nice.
I had that unicorn head.
It's my
I had that
favorite.
unicorn head. I broke out on CZ stream one night, 3 different heads.
Yeah, I
Real
have
night
the other head too.
avatars.
She did too.
I'm just saying, he almost turned his head 360 degrees around. That shit is. I thought it was a unicorn. Oh my god, it's not an owl. It's a unicorn, bro.
Give me nightmares.
Oh my god, I know. I'm just laughing. It's so great. He should go to. Hey, can we go to the next BronyCon?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
go.
Thank God.
Actually, that girl that I met today, she's into that shit. So.
Oh God. Okay, I'll be Flutter guy then. How's that sound?
You be the fluffer? Okay, got it.
Oh God.
How much Molly
Oh,
can you have in
God.
that nest?
Got to fluff
that
the
mean?
RDS.
It's not talking about PulseCon, are we?
Hey, at PulseCon, did anything interesting happen or no?
Actually, I think it was Hex Conference.
No. PulseCon. The first one, the one that happened. Did anything interesting happen?
I don't affiliate with
Nope.
cons.
So it's the same thing with this one. It's like anything interesting?
I didn't hear it.
With the Hex conference, I just thought Papa B was real interesting. Just listening to him, I thought that was a really good one. Otherwise, so far, nothing stood out for me in terms of just a breakthrough. Papa B actually exposed his secret phrase, his passphrase on stream, and just gave it as an example for people. And
Yeah,
again,
I saw that. It was pretty funny.
freaking great. Made a clip of it.
It's just a big ass circle jerk over there. It's a big circle jerk.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
I don't
that
take it
upsets
away from them
anybody
because
here,
they put a lot of effort into it, and there's a lot of people that are new that aren't used to seeing it. But after you, like, it's like going to a conference for any other industry. You go to one, and then okay, cool, and then you go to the second one. You're like, okay, cool. And you go to the next one. You're like, I don't want to go to another one. I really don't want to go to another one.
Phamous, is it cool if I go on my little rant real quick?
Of course, man. I was just gonna say,
All right.
it's getting
Look,
late.
nobody in this
I'm about to
community-
pass out.
Nobody in this community has put in more hours
Okay.
this past year than Phamous. No one. Not a single fucking soul. You find a soul that put in more hours than Phamous, you know, you can have all my shit. I'm done. I'm out. I'll go. Look, I'm gonna go join Luna. I'll be in Luna Classic, whatever. Maybe I'll get on. Maybe I'll create Saitama V4. I don't know, but I'll remove myself from this community if you find one person that has put in more hours and more time than Phamous. It's a tragedy. It's horrible.
I know one.
that
I
he
know
is
one.
not at that goddamn conference.
I know one.
What?
Just one.
Who?
RG3.
No. Nope. RG3, the time put in, no indeed. No, why do you think fucking RG3's got famous now?
Because of everybody.
RG3 recognizes it. RG3 recognizes it.
But no,
He
seriously,
knows.
without Phamous, there really wouldn't be anything going on, and it is a serious thing. I wish that they would recognize it more within the community, because there are a lot of people that have boobs and get attention, have chaos and get attention, have rude attitude and get attention. Everything that's a distraction, shiny object syndrome, and nasty and negative, they all get attention. But someone who's actually been as passionate as he has been, no. You're right. There is nobody there.
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't know any of y'all. I would not know any of y'all if it weren't for Phamous.
I respect you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no
But
one
you know
goes
that.
harder
But I
than
know,
Phamous.
where do
for
I
real.
know all y'all from?
Spaces.
Right.
But no one goes harder than you, Phamous, for real.
Hey,
man.
but listen.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. The accolades and the trophies never really mean nothing when you know you won. So you know you won when you win, right? So like as long as we keep winning, that's all that really matters, right? It's like I think at the end of the day, what people need to realize is consistency, and I've preached it since the beginning: consistency, consistency, consistency. And like I don't need to, the fact that people were willing to give me their spots on the conference meant a lot to me, and more than being on the conference, because it's like conference is kind of like, we've made it, let's do it, oh cool, it's like, look at me. But it's never really about me, it's about us. So like let's continue that. And one day the echo will be the echo will be louder than the river. Sorry, now the echo is louder than the river, but the river will always continue on flowing, as the echo will one day just stop. So I think it's just sometimes people need to look at the grander schemes of things. And yeah, man, I appreciate everyone's kind words. I don't really know what to say when kind words are put at me, but
I think RDS needs to airdrop you some women. I think he should airdrop you some women right now.
I already gave him one. What are you talking about? I already gave him one.
Yeah.
He's earned way more than one, brother. Way more than
no,
one.
but listen, that's not
look. You should give him your best one.
No, the issue is the issue right now is that we're not moving fast enough. But I think a lot of things are moving along, and I have a lot of good things happening right now currently that are gonna be propelled very soon, and we're gonna be making big moves. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about being on a conference that's kind of that portrays a bunch of shillers. I don't really want to be there. Most speakers are people portraying other coins, so I don't want to be in that mix. I'd rather be a warrior to this thing and be perfect. So 100% uptime. I got 100% uptime, so I'm not gonna ruin that for nothing. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Though I appreciate it.
No,
Okay, that's like 95%
downtime. Yeah,
or uptime. 95% uptime.
Soldier Slim.
Every day, Hex Turtle, and in 6 days is gonna be 365.
I know. I'm just saying that there's only one or two times I've gone, oh, I need the hex space. This dude ain't on, and then like an hour later you're gonna be up. So it's your downtime is literally so minuscule. Hex all day is basically always 24/7, basically, unless Twitter rugs, which you can't be beholden to that, and that happens, and you pass out, and then you get the hell up, and guess what happens? You get the hell up, and if you don't, someone else of the crew of Hex all day, we're not paid by you, start up a stream, and then you jump in there, and then guess what? We have Hex all day on another thing, and
or if
again, you're consistent.
Other people do a stream. Then Phamous will be like, "Hey, these people got a space. Let's all go there," and then
right.
We kind of migrate together.
But it's okay, man. We're good, man. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried. I'm whatever. I obviously say things, but we're good, man. Don't worry about it.
Well, how about we get this? Every single person in the chat leave a heart and a fire for Phamous before he goes to bed.
100%, please, guys. I appreciate you guys. Remember,
I'm going to bed. RDS is airdropping this bitches to him. So
I'm definitely going to bed.
I airdrop something.
I'm going to bed. I gotta wake up early tomorrow morning. I gotta go do some shit at the city. So
all right, brother.
I want to thank you guys for being on the show. I want to thank Romanian Dan. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna rug myself. I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna watch it in bed. But take care, guys. I appreciate you guys. Allan, Hex Turtle, Tap, RDS, always Tap, and Trap, always. I love you guys.
Oh, yeah, love you too, bro.
Peace out.
Love you, bro. Stay safe.
Peace. Thank you.
Hey, yo, Romanian. Oh, wait. Let me finish with one more thing. Yo, guys, go on the shorts. Give Romanian Dan some fucking love. I'm loving those shorts.
Fuck
man.
yes.
Yo. I was dying laughing.
Continue that shit. Good job, guys.
Dude, Romanian is the king of fucking shorts right now. Just like clipping shit and just the way he builds it, like the way he takes shit. I was laughing my ass off yesterday when I heard the Eco Builder. Like, oh, y'all may not know this story, but my father's abducted, come from alien sperm. And then it goes from alien sperm to me telling Keith that I'm about to go visit his girlfriend. And then somebody asked me if I wear pink Crocs, and I'm like, hell no, we're trying to get laid. Then Kef comes in talking about he wants to see Marie to peg him. And I'm like, my God, you can't get to what it, like, you couldn't make that shit up. Like, you couldn't, I mean, it's just talent, bro.
Yeah,
Man,
that was
shit's
good.
all keep going with it, bro.
Yeah, Dan, didn't you do one for GRC as well when was it Walrus? Walrus came in, mad awkward.
Oh,
Then it was
yeah.
Shut the hell
I
up.
was dying.
Shut the fuck up.
So fucking quiet. And then Walrus, yeah, guys. So the people, hold on one second. Okay.
Josh Soul got
was in
pissed
there?
when he got pissed when Jim Rat left.
Oh, my
That's what I'm
God.
talking about. He just leaves. He doesn't no respect. He just leaves. He doesn't even wait for the answer.
Dude, he
I was
nailed
dying.
it though, right? Did he not nail it or not?
Yeah.
It writes itself. Oh,
I love this fucking community.
good
You know,
chat,
one
Dan.
of the things I was thinking of is easily Hex all day or Romanian and Dan, however we get this all set up. Listen, hear this out. Sirius XM, because they have station 555 and they also got station 369 that are completely open. Imagine a completely satellite radio, Sirius XM, Hex all day podcast room. I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be
Send me
trash.
the
I'm not
link.
gonna lie.
Send me the link. Send me
That's
the
what I'm
link. I'll
saying.
talk for X amount of time. I'll take a
How
little
do you
block
even
of
get
time.
a?
And
Have you looked into it? Like, how
ramble.
do you even get set up with the channel? You just pay them?
So I've been looking into that, and that's what I'm going to basically shoot over to Phamous and shoot over to Bullish and just see what we can get going. But from what I looked, I said, how do you get a Sirius XM channel? It said just basically start up a podcast and get it going. So there might be some sort of contractual obligation. Fine. But I checked the channels. 369 and 555 are all open right now.
That could be
So
something.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm
Can
not
you
gonna
already,
lie.
can you already,
It could have
can
the
you already
Hex.
see it now on Sirius XM's yearly report or quarterly report? Hey, so how's that new channel coming along? Man, they sound like a cult. What? No, they really sound like a cult. We may not want them anymore.
It'd be like fucking. Okay, so I listened
Well,
to Howard
educate them
Stern.
and say we're bots. We're bots. We're not a cult. We're bots.
I love Howard Stern, and every single time I turn into Howard Stern, sometimes it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck are they talking about? And that's the Hex channel. You turn that shit, it's like, and then we could steak for okay, nice. And then you scroll away and you come back an hour later and it's, oh yeah, I want to get pegged. What the fuck are these dudes doing? Jesus Christ!
Shit.
They were.
Bunch of flat
That's
earth
true.
motherfuckers
That is
running
true.
around.
Nah, sometimes those conversations get wild.
Or we
That's what I'm
might get
saying.
yelled at by people that say they don't want to hear us talking about the things that we're talking, that we should only talk about one thing. For sure.
And that's like, of course they can do that. They can complain, but you know what's going to happen? The same is going to happen anyway. You can set the podcast to get set up however it is. If it is literally just Twitter Spaces the entire time, that shit's going to get wild.
But I do like the podcast side because I think that would open up better opportunities to interview people, versus the spaces where you've got many people talking, where it could be more of a controlled environment. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
2-3 people talking to somebody, and it could be, because if you put the Twitter Spaces like in a podcast, I mean, sometimes it's like, my God, there might be 6 people talking at the same time, hollering. I mean, I'm probably one of the main ones, screaming all kind of profanities at people, and don't show your bullshit over here, please.
How many people are in the chat right now, by chance?
2.
2 people in the chat room? Oh, right.
No, there's got to be more.
We get a
They're all at the
decent
Hex
amount of
conference.
videos.
No, and we're live. They're watching, and we're live.
Dude, did you see yesterday Corey had Hotep Jesus on, and he only had 26 fucking people watching the damn stream. And I'm not gonna
It's a
lie,
bear market.
that was the best stream that I'd ever seen Corey done. But like, it's just bad timing because everyone's at the fucking conference. Yeah, that's what I assume it was. But only 26 live users were watching that whole stream. And
He's a
give that
simp, bro.
Hotep
He's a
Jesus
simp.
stream some love.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh
Jeff, you going to
man,
work
I
the
just
corners
got
or what,
outbid
bro?
again.
I know. I
Where's
got
Tap
my
going?
bots on it. I got my bots on it. We're shielded in right now.
Awesome.
Not fucking with you, already is.
Hey guys,
But hey, I know who to hit up if I ever find comics.
See you, Tap. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got a dip. It's been nice being on. Nice talking to all y'all again. I'll talk to all y'all soon. Anyone watching, follow my TikTok, Tap for Life 1. I'm back on there trying to make my little shorts. I'll talk to y'all later.
Later.
Bro.
He's
Keep
great.
it going, bro. Keep doing it.
We're gonna tap that all on the floor. Tap that till he gets tired. No.
Where the white women at, bro?
Yeah, that sounds gay, bro. Sorry. Sorry, Turtle. That sounds, you're talking about tapping another man.
Oh, yo, Hex Turtle, why don't you tell Tap Gravity about Nexo? I don't think he was here for that.
So I know that you hate centralized exchanges just as much as me. Now, the benefit of a centralized exchange is because they have users that want to buy things on there. And the downside is that they never want to pull their coins off. Well, Hex gives incentives to take your coins off of an exchange because you can't earn yield on Hex in an exchange, even the exchanges that Hex is listed on. So I put an application in today for Hex to be listed on Nexo. And I made a poll, so you can go to my Twitter and you can put yes or no. And if you are completely against it, please click no and share the reasons why you don't want it on the centralized exchange.
Let me tell you this real quick. You realize with them to list it, they're going to want you to give them Hex, and then they're also going to want you to provide the liquidity. So if you can do that, then, more eyes. I don't know. More eyes on. How can we say that's bad?
So
someone in chat said that someone in chat said that they wanted to hear from. Someone in chat said that they wanted to hear from the unicorn. I guess that's you, Trav.
Okay, so how do you feel about that, RDS?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Anything that's progress and movement forward and an opportunity to test someone or something. Hold on, stroke the unicorn because they're asking stroke the unicorn. Yeah. As long as it provides some sort of visibility, you got to realize the tokens are going to be used in a good way and a bad way regardless. So if someone's willing to take the chance and give it visibility and expose it to 5 million people, I'm all for it. As long as you know the risks and what you're walking into, without risk, there's no reward in business. And that's the truth and reality behind it. So, at some sense, because everyone's been ingrained by only one theology, Richard Hart, and everything in the ecosystem, you kind of miss the shots that you don't take. So even if it's a shitty shot, right? As long as you don't get wrecked and you don't expose your security and, you're not putting more money than you're willing to lose, give it a shot. It's up to them to prove that they can do something right. And if they don't prove that they can do it right, even though they have 5 million users, we're still early onset enough that we have people that we haven't exposed ourselves to, that someone will want to go deeper beyond that one avenue or that one opportunity or visibility factor. People will become curious to see what the opportunities lay beyond just buying and selling. And that's just in general in anything, from stocks to houses to cars to comic books, whatever it is. If you don't take the shot to buy it and you don't experience it and you don't test the waters, how can you really say how it's going to turn out until they prove you otherwise? So I'm kind of in that boat.
Takes money to make money.
Well, and you are right, Trap. Most of them want percentages, and the OA is never going to give coins to an exchange. Well, let me rephrase that. The OA most likely will never, ever give coins to an exchange. Got to add that qualifier because no one knows what the OA is going to do. But the chances are basically 0%. So great. So then that would have to be a user, or they have this opportunity.
And we have 3 years of history to prove that, though. We have 3 years.
3 years of history
to back
and
that up.
$193 million in volume monthly average for the last 6 months. In a bear market, $193 million of volume in Hex. That is fucking amazing. So whenever they see this opportunity,
when it's all the people that have their own keys,
right? And so the chances of us 400,000 users using them is very slim, but the chance of their 5 million users wanting to use us is very high. Now, the chances of all of them wanting to go straight DeFi is very rare in general, but whenever you have an entire community that just pounds you in the face telling you decentralization is key, it's hard to not listen at a certain point. So I think I love Richard, and I think he's the #1 person in the space. However, he has said if there is anyone that's going to be better than him, he invites them to try. And it's always going to be contentious to say, but I would always want to be better than Richard Hart. Does that mean I can make more money than him? I don't know. I don't think so. Does that mean I can be more influential than him? I don't know. I don't think so. Does it mean that I can be just as safe, secure, talk about the things that people need to? Yes, I can guarantee that. So as long as I or any one of us is trying to strive to be better than Richard Hart in the sense that he's the best person in crypto, well, I want to be the best fucking person in crypto. And that's a good
That's just
inspirational
current
message.
state of it, you know?
Right,
Current
right.
state, but I think he said, like, there's going to be something that comes around that is great. There's going to be another Richard Hart type thing coming around one day. Somebody's going to create something, you know? Somebody else is going to create something that's, you know,
the other thing too is that you got to remember that there's a lot of people that you know, I've given exposure to that are part of the financial industry, and you know, he was able to get on Valuetainment because most of us put our efforts together to get him on there. Well, if he really wouldn't have acted like a jackass and not been a clown and actually dressed up and been respectful to the platform, he would have had the chance to talk to Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David just finished selling his insurance company that I've been with for 9 figures. He knows presidents.
He don't want those people though, bro.
And he knows people that has power and influence and people that actually have financial power. So maybe there will be someone that comes into the picture who has the interest, that sees the benefit of it, forgets about the clown, and sees that they could possibly lead it towards a bigger, better audience that has now the financial capacity to take little itty bitty us that started at the beginning to a higher level and introduce people the right way in that world. Not that what we're doing is the wrong way, but there is decorum, there is procedures, there are certain things that people look at, there's certain mechanics of socialization and responsibility that as people that hold that much money from other people who really do want to do positive, behave in a way that's completely diametrically opposite of the way that he behaves, speaks, and does things. Is it right that he does it? Maybe. Is it right the way that you know, the other financial institutions and people do things? Maybe. You know, everyone can learn from one another. But you are right, Trap. There's going to be someone who's going to come to the table because they've been sitting and waiting. They've seen it grow. And they don't mind waiting to see how people either get beat up or grow, because the numbers that are going to be coming to us, which may be large, to them may not be. You know, for them, their liquidity pool is in the billions of dollars. And that's just play money. So imagine what they really hold.
I'm saying it right here. I'm going to be the next Richard Hart.
What might be $1 million to someone, you know, might not be. It might be literally, look, somebody might look at it as $100 in their pocket. There's always somebody with a bigger bag. Always.
You know, Trev, that's a great opinion or fact, because there was a person yesterday I was educating a community that I typically would not endorse. And so, you know, go into an alt account, talk about it, things like this. And one of the statements that someone made was, well, a person with $1 million who loses 3%, they would be more than likely to sell versus a person who has $20 and loses 3%. And the statement there is absolutely false, because 3% is 3%. The person who YOLOs $1 million in probably has more than $1 million in his own financial background that he can use, whereas the person who has $20 probably doesn't have more than $20. So the person with the poor mindset is going to sell out more on a red candle than a person with a rich mindset. Now, when you say the $1 million or $100 or something, it's a subjective value. So I mentioned before that, you know, oh, I make $1,700 a paycheck. And someone said, that's not a lot. Well, maybe not if you live in New York, not if you live in California, not if you live in some of these states. But I can tell you, if you live in other states, that's a lot of money. And it really is a subjective value. So you are absolutely right. There's someone out there that will always have more money than you, someone with a lot less money than you, some more influence than you. And the only thing that you can do is never screw your own self-image. That's the closest thing that you, as an influencer, you Trap, you RDS, you Romanian Dan, you owe yourselves the respect and responsibility to always uphold yourself how you want others to see you.
And be consistent. Be
Yeah,
consistent.
that was, you beat me to the punch, you bastard. Be consistent.
Be consistent.
Yep, because berserkers are someone that you never want to work for. I worked for 2 berserkers in my life, and it sucks because they come in pissed off or they come in happy. Pissed off, and it just is all, they could step on a rock one day and be pissed, and then that's why they give you a hard time.
But it's not just about being pissed. They take it out on other individuals,
right,
and then say that it's their fault versus
right,
taking responsibility. And not, you know, listen, I'm very grateful for what RH has done. I'm grateful for what he's doing. Do we all agree with what he's doing? 100% no. There's never going to be an individual who everyone's going to agree upon, but it's up to each of us to, you know, uphold the values.
Only in the metaverse. Only in the metaverse.
Yeah, exactly. It's up to us to hold the values that we feel is going to propel people to want to be drawn to the energy that you're exuding. So he draws in a certain crowd. He has a certain capacity. Other people will come into the picture soon, very, very soon. Once everything comes back up to pace with the financial instruments and people see that there's a way out, that they're going to want to see that revival again of what the cryptocurrency world can do, and understand that, hey, I wish I would have been the earlier adopter of just buying something and holding. And there are those characters that are in our community that are doing that have done it, that continue to do it. But even at the large scale amount of money that they have, they are tiny fish compared to some of the people that I've seen that are waiting in the wings. And those guys, they manage large scale finances for institutions. And when they gamble 75 million, 100 million of liquid cash that's expendable to them because it doesn't mean anything if they lose it.
So
and that's
RD, I have
the reality.
2 questions. So you mentioned consistency. So here's 2 questions for you. If RH had always acted like this from the very beginning of his stream, would people have a problem with how he acts now? And the second one is, could he be performing this sort of marketing tactic so that way someone else can take the reins of his old persona, the persona of intelligence, the persona of calm, collected interviews? Well, I guess calm and collected based on whatever you want to consider that, and just basically take his old spot?
No, he's too much of a control freak. I believe that he's in his own way, to answer the second question, in his own way and in his own mind, based upon the exposure that he has and the people that are surrounding and chewing away at his ear, he believes he's doing the right thing. Does it hit good metrics? Does he have 200,000 people on his list? Sure. But you have kids that have accounts with 2 million, 3 million, 4 million people building Legos. So I wouldn't flex too fucking hard about 200,000 people just because you gave away $26 million of someone else's money, and at the same time to hired a bunch of people.
27. 27.
Yeah,
bro.
well, 20. I'll give him 30. How about that? You gave away $30 million of someone else's money and then said that you donated money. It's like, you know, that rubs
I think
people
it's
the
almost
wrong way.
opposite, though. I think
No, but
Richard
it rubs
would
people the
rather
wrong way,
go
though.
back
Trap.
to his
It
old
rubs some
stuff.
people the wrong way.
I know it does.
The optics of it are that, you know, and again, this is the optics that I got feedback from people in the finance industry that we were trying to help them to get on. When he said that was a real huge turnoff for them.
Well, that's the people we're trying to fork right now, so I'm not
Yeah,
really worried about their
that was a
opinion.
really huge turnoff for the people that are in finance, because the people that we were talking to are people that help people to have legacy income. God forbid they have a heart attack, break their leg, you know, the father dies, the mom dies, they don't have money for credit cards, you know, they're about to lose their house and they don't have any financial planning. Well, these are people that make sure that they have the right tools in place. Who do you want to get that right tool from? Someone like RH dressed up as a clown throwing money around and spitting stupid stuff, or someone that's gotten
get it from a community. Get it from a community. Let Richard go back to
exactly
sitting down wearing his Hex. I want Richard sitting down wearing the Hex.com shirt with the beard, with the chain, with the fist grabbing the money. You know, and him just dropping
be relatable
alpha,
and be approachable.
Hard shit, and let all of us do the outrage marketing.
Yeah, be relatable like he was and approachable like he was at the beginning. At the beginning, he was very approachable, very, very much relatable. You know, his interest of humanitarian good is noted. Again, great. You've done one aspect of social media marketing. You can milk so much out of a bloody rock, and at this point, there's nothing more to milk out of that. Change.
But he's already said that he wants to step away.
One person or 1,000. Who gets more views? One person or 1,000 people?
So
who influences more? One person or 1,000 people?
He's
1,000 always.
Right. Now because of the metrics, because you know so many people, one person sees that and goes from there. I agree with that. When he mentioned specifically that he wants to be able to step away sometime, and he said on stream with Mark something or other, one of the guys, old stream, or Chris Bleck. The person said, "Don't you think it's a problem?"
Fuck Chris Bleck.
Listen to this crap. I get it. But you know what Richard Hart said? Richard Hart specifically said, okay, when he had this stream. So the reason why I mentioned that person's name is so people can search up the stream. The Chris Bleck Richard Hart stream, at a certain point, Richard mentioned in the response of, "Don't you see that there's a problem with perception of there being a founder?" And he said, yes, but there's not a problem if you step away early enough. So he's steps a fucking way. Richard Hart is no longer anything to the Hex community. Everyone wants him to be. Everyone wants this motherfucker to be. And you know what he wants to be? Well-known, liked, a distributor. He does not want to be the founder of fucking Hex.com. And in 10 years, he's not going to give a shit, which is fine. You, I, everyone else will give a shit way more about Hex than he will. And it's just going to be one of his main things that he sells to people. I was a founder of Hex.com. I run a sex toy shop. All this other shit. Great. He did that. Someone else needs to take the role. And he's already stepped away, which is great. So we can take all the information from his sci-fi, take all the information from his old stuff, clip them, make ourselves the next RH. Every single Hexican here, that is the duty that we have. Because who's the founder then? He stepped away. There is no founder of Hex. There's no team of Hex. There's only people. And that is what we need to strive to. So whenever we say, Richard needs to do good and we all need to do outrage marketing. No, we all need to be old RH. And RH needs to continue doing whatever the fuck he wants to, because no expectations from the profit of others. Oh, we don't have an expectation. But Richard, be better.
But to counter that, you got to remember one thing too. You know, everything has a purpose in what he does.
Right.
Regardless of how sentiment-wise he states something, you know, the reality is that he still blocks people that don't cure his liking. He bans people from his Twitter. He talks down to certain individuals who are trying to grow within the community to try to do things versus helping them to understand.
Because they're promoting shit coins. They're promoting trash.
But again, it all comes down to, you know, approachability versus non-approachability for the new people. You want to have people that people can approach, ask questions, be part of a community, see what derives from the good that this is bringing. And we're in an economic situation, whether we like it or not, where a lot of people look at people with money as the devil or evil or self-centered or not giving enough, or like they earned it easily. And no one knows the person's journey, but they just think that, right? So with time changes, your approach changes. And that's the only thing that I'm stating with that, right? In the sense that if he wants to step away, then say, hey, I'm stepping away. This is what I've built. I'd like for the community to take the torch. I won't be posting up anything else about this other than, hey, thank you. And this is what I'm going to do to help those that are in need versus just myself. I mean, there's so many watches and cars and trips and hookers and drugs you can buy. You know what I'm saying? Now, switch it up. Do something that you haven't done. Help someone in need. You know, help a family in need. Do it discreetly and quietly with your money. Not with
That's why I tell everybody to go back to the old streams, though.
Huh?
That's why I always tell everybody to go back to the old streams. Because if you go back to the old Richard streams, you'll see that he don't give a fuck about watches. He don't give a fuck about cars. Remember, he talked about the first car I got was like was a Rolls Royce. I thought Rolls Royce. I think it was a Rolls Royce he got. What was the first one? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a Rolls Royce. Dude, he didn't ever talk about that shit. He would sit there wearing a t-shirt, literally a t-shirt with the money chain on, and just rant and just want to slaughter people all day long, all fucking day.
Now, here's a good thing to think about. Like, he was like that during the bull markets, from what I could tell, which is wonderful. Now, think about this. Does this not teach how you can be and how you can spend your profits during a bear market if you make the right plays? Sure, he's being a clown. Let's say he's being a clown. Fine, 100%. But look at all the people that sold all their hex at 1 penny before the fucking run up to 56 cents. And all these people spent all their fucking hex on this. They never bought back in. They trash talk hex now. They went from homeless to millionaires. They launch other coins. They talk shit on hex. They talk shit on Richard Hart. And they don't do anything but, I guess, basically victimize people. And in the background, I don't know about what Richard Hart does. I don't know if he has his own Richard Hart Foundation that he sends money to. I don't know if he has his own charity that he does. Just the other day, Andrew Tate ended up coming out basically saying, here's my Tate Foundation that I've been doing and running in the background that I haven't talked about for the last 7 months because I don't want to flaunt that. Like, that's where I make my money. I don't know what he does with his spare time. I don't know how much money he donates to charity. I don't know how much money if he's fucking housing homeless children on the streets and we don't know about it. Imagine how stupid we'd feel when we're like, stop being a clown, and he spends like $1 billion keep homing homeless people. Now, I don't know if he does that or not.
When he's walking out with all those bags, do you see him smiling when he's walking out with all those bags and his little church or cheeseburger church, all this other weird ass bullshit he's wearing? You know, you think he walks around wearing that shit every day? Hell no. He puts it on one time and then probably fucking puts it to the side like.
No, that outfit is fly though. That fucking outfit is fly. I'm not gonna lie.
But no, there's no. I'm talking about like where he's walking out of Prada with the diamond hat, bracelets, the little church on him, and all the bags, and just kind of just strolling out. Dude, look at his face. He don't look like he's smiling. Romanian,
I think that he needs to.
The perspective
show him
that
with
he's
the money chain though. Show him the real Richard. I want to see.
But the problem of it is that the perspective that's being seen out there right now, it hinders us at some level. It does. I mean, there's no denying.
We got so many things that hinder us right now, way farther beyond Richard. We got TikTok,
no. I know that. I recognize that, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. But we're talking specifically about how perception is coming from someone that retorts consistently that they've done things and create things that they're always right and that they've warned people that they've done this, that they've done that. Well, that's great. Continue to give that message. But if you want to be taken seriously, you know, there's certain times to do that. And right now is the best time to do it because people are looking for hope. People are looking for opportunities. People are looking for something to hold on to that they can grow with and their family can grow with. And there's not a lot of people doing that. Yes, we can do it and we are doing it. But again, we're talking about, you know, how people see things that they look up and the person that they see behind it, because they constantly retort the same thing over and over again while flaunting that they're spending someone else's money. Because again, it is someone else's money.
I'm gonna look up until you drop a girl down for me. Sorry,
I think some of his women crawl from the ground. You know, some of them look too good to be angels. That's all. He
mints them out of thin air.
He's forking them over.
Yeah,
who, me?
You know, yeah, no,
of course you
like mint shit out of thin air, mint it out of thin air.
You know the crazy
like
part of it is,
Superman,
dude,
1 million, bro.
I'll be very honest with you. I'm a total geek when I talk to them. I talk to people like I talk to you guys. And I think that's the big thing, that people just don't talk to people at all anymore. They don't know how to approach. So, but if you want one, I'll hand you one down. I mean, hand me down. I got to share my toy sometime.
Yeah, but I don't want to be your Eskimo brother. I want one that's untouched by you.
Jesus.
That's possible.
I see RDS like Superman 1,000,000. He basically holds his hand out and just regenerates fucking Lois Lane from absolute nothingness, and that's where his women come from.
Oh my God! If you only knew what I'm looking at right now, it's so ironically funny that you said that. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can show it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, show us, please. Come on, you
Hold
can't.
on a second here.
It's show and tell time.
We're gonna see his newest creation of a woman on stream. It's gonna look like a chimera between Richard Hart and Eric Wall.
Oh, I gotta see if the camera will turn. So we'll do the back-facing camera 2. See if it looks. If you can see it or not. Hold it up. No, camera 2 doesn't come up. See that one? Add camera.
I see your face. I see your face
Yeah.
in the
It's
camera.
creepy.
You gotta see the
Doxing
face
yourself,
halfway
bro.
partially with the
You're doxing yourself right there. Be careful.
It's okay. It doesn't mean anything. All right, let me see if you can you see
It
that.
looks like Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore.
Can you see that?
Okay, back in the day.
Yes, Paulie D.
Paulie, yeah.
Okay, yeah, now we can see it.
Now
No
we see
offense,
Lois
Paulie,
Lane.
yes.
Nice.
Yep.
But
That's
be
the comic
careful
I'm
with
waiting
that
on right
goddamn
now.
Fucking unicorn.
All right, boys, I gotta head out.
It's a pleasure. Alan.
Yeah, I'm taking off. But real quick before I take off, but regarding RH, and you guys are right. I mean, when I saw RH in the beginning, there was when I was in a weird place in my life, and old school RH was the bomb. I mean, it was the best because it was.
He saved me, bro. He saved me.
Yeah. I mean, literally. I mean, the guy was giving advice. He was spending 6-7 hours on streams. Like, he replied to a direct message I sent him at the beginning of 2021 when I was researching everything. I started watching his videos, and it meant a lot. And I told him, I was like, I'm probably never going to be able to get a hold of you again, because I recognized the value that was being produced in front of me by this man. And I haven't read his books yet, and I probably should. But just watching his videos was enough, and being in the community was enough, at least for me. And it dragged me out of very dark places. And luckily, this community has been extremely supportive. And I think if the community gets back to that, instead of fighting each other over real dumb stuff, in all reality, and whenever I get approached by anyone, whether it's on stream or via direct messages, I tell them, you know what, you guys are fighting over a line of code, like literally a line of code.
Yep.
And that kind of brings it back to reality, to in real life stuff. And people feel silly about that. And I think it refocuses them. And hopefully, the people who are most vocal in the community are able to sort of bring that back. Because I think that was one of the biggest values that I saw out of everything after Richard sort of, exposed everything else to me. And hopefully we can get back to that. And it's sometimes the answers are really simple. They're not that complicated.
You're dead right, dude. You're dead right.
Literally, you know what I mean? It's good to have our fun within the community, on chats, whatever, busting each other's balls, this and that. But we can't forget that there are new people. I was a new person coming in, and luckily I was mature enough because of my age and my life experience to sort of sift through a lot of the BS that was going on and kind of push that out to the side. But a lot of people don't have that. And we need to recognize that as a community. I fuck around a lot in the chats, and sometimes I step back. I'm like, all right, I gotta take it easy. I take a break. I don't go into the chats because I don't have anything good to say other than troll everyone. And I think everyone has that responsibility. And once the majority of the people who have been in the community have matured, understand, and are part of the ecosystem, do that, I think that's when I think Richard may or may not feel comfortable enough to say, okay, I can step the fuck away. I've created something. The idea is that I'm not here developing this thing for 20 years and chilling it for 20 years. The idea is that I created something that was done. I just need to prove the concept of it. He's proven that. It's giving people mad gains. People are doing all these crazy things with all their gains. And I think if we get back to that, and he can go ahead and take off, and somebody, the community needs to be essentially what he sort of envisioned people to do, maybe in his own right. Maybe he's never said it out loud. I never heard him say anything like that. But if we can get there, I think we're going to be in a really good place. And everything else is math. literally just math. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Smart people are going to see it. All those $75 million buyers that, you know, that you guys are talking about are going to come in, and we're like, all right, all the shenanigans is gone. All the emotions are gone. This is just math. It produces. Let's go. And I think
and then we also have
that's the hard part, because a lot of the people that are currently looking at what you just stated from your view and from your side, you know, they feel offended at times. They feel bothered.
Right.
They feel like their contribution is insignificant, and that in order to attain the things that this person has done, they have to do beyond what is capable to them at that current moment. And the reality of it is that we're so early that if he made, or we make it so that we can feel relatable, that there's more people who have that same sentiment of, hey, this is the beginning.
Yep.
I'm in the same boat as you. I was there before. I can relate to you. I can guide you and give you the people that want to help you to get to that next level, to be patient, to have the delayed gratification. You know, that's a critical thing, because you want to have someone that's relatable, that you can talk to, that can understand you, that has empathy. At this point, and I'm not criticizing him, I'm just pointing this out.
You're missing one key part of it, though. You got to make them laugh. When you make someone laugh,
but that's the thing. It's part of empathy. That's part of the empathy portion. Yeah, but that's part of being human and being empathetic, making sure that they understand that it's not all serious, that they can laugh at themselves, they can laugh at the situation, that there is a brighter day to come down the road. Not that, hey, the brighter day is here and you should have been with me. That's a little hard for people like a mom, like as an example. I love Georgia. Georgia contributes a lot to the community in her own way, but she's a working mom. She doesn't have the capacity at the early onset to see how much money is needed every month to make a contribution. So she has to save. And there's a lot of people out there that have to save or sell their things, or see an opportunity that they want to grab onto and have sold their things. Maybe not the right time, but
there's people out there that just got to survive. They got to survive.
Yeah, and those people, I don't want, look, I personally, if I was really, really hurting financially, I wouldn't want to have my friends throw it in my face that I made the wrong decision, that they made the right decision, and too bad, tough luck. Now we're moving with bigger, better people. Well, those bigger, better people are bigger, better people. They're not the people that you made it. They have the money from someone else who hasn't made it.
What's the easiest way to learn, though?
But it's being part of a community.
The easiest way to learn is fail.
It's being part of a community.
Fail.
Yeah, and being part of something that's relatable, though.
Yeah.
And again, you are right. Your sentiment really hit home, because I know a lot of people that it's changed their lives with Hex, but it didn't change them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is that
I've never had it. Look, Hex changed my life, but Hex has not made me a millionaire. I have not made an ass ton of money off of fucking Hex.
Yep. And that was exactly my point.
Mindset. Richard changed me.
Yep. It breaks you. For me, it literally broke who I was and the way that I was thinking. It's so funny, because after watching at least 4 or 5 streams, I remember the conversations that I was having with friends and colleagues and clients. I'm a real estate agent. And it was just, it was a boost of confidence knowing, because Richard's right about pretty much almost everything, right? And it gave me that confidence knowing that there was someone out there that knew his stuff. It inspired me to like learn more, read more, be right about stuff as much as I could. And I was just slam dunking on people left and right on things that I already knew. So it sort of reawakens a lot of that. But yeah, I haven't made millions of dollars on this. I haven't cashed a single Hex, a single one. The only thing that I've ever lost on Hex is whatever I sacrificed, which I consider it literally gone, not my money. I don't know what I'm getting back for it. So I try to stick to the ideals of that too, and true to the word of, the meaning of the word, not something that I'm going to invent, like, oh, I sacrificed it, but I expect something back. But yeah, you're right. And I think people need to really sit down in the community and go back to the where they started and what drew them.
Fundamentals. Because
the fundamentals, thank you. And just bring them back to that, because when things get too muddy and they get too loud and there's a lot of toxicity, which I think it's not a good thing when everyone is happy. I like people. I like a little bit of controversy. It needs to be there, but people need to sort of go back, think about it, and rebuild themselves every once in a while. And I don't think enough people are doing that in the community, and I encourage them to do it if they can. And if they can't, then just stay away from it, because you're not helping. You're really only hurting yourself and everyone else around you. The price is the price. It has nothing to do with that, but the growth that everyone has, the individual growth in life because of what they found, I think it's an incredible opportunity, and it shouldn't be wasted. And you shouldn't overlook all the things that you went through and throw it all away because of the price of a token. Because we've gained more than just, for those who've made a ton of money, that's great, but we've gained more than that. So if people lose that vision in general, I think they're screwed. Hopefully that, the bigger players in this community who have a very loud voice can recognize that and sort of bring it back and be relatable. Don't get too big that you can't be approached. That goes for the big streamers.
But here's one thing that if you've noticed, that if you've been inside of the Twitter spaces, for example,
right?
I and if Richard hears this, then great. And if someone wants to tell him that we said it, then fucking even better. Excuse my French, but I'm really pissed off when I said that at that level, because listen, man, Mr. RH, we thank you. Humble yourself for 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, maybe once a month. Sit there in the Twitter spaces, listen to people, how they talk, because that's how normal people talk about their concerns. It may not be what you want to hear about hot chicks, expensive cars, and there are some of those conversations in there. It may not be about just your token, because there are other opportunities in the world, technology changes, but you're going to hear the humanity portion of it. And I think when you have so many people sucking up to his middleman D and his ego and his personality because of the movie, the coin, the devs, what charity works, the purchase, you get disconnected, bro. And yes, I'm calling you bro because you are just a man like anyone else, and you can tell him I said this. You are becoming unrelatable to your own self. And at the end of the day, when you go to take a shit, you don't shit money. You shit like every one of us. When you eat your food, you eat it just like every one of us, one forkful at a time. You go to sleep just like we do. Maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe 12 hours. You still sleep, and you're going to die, and your family's going to die, just like you said in all your podcasts. That's being human, relatable, approachable, someone that can talk to you. Sit there and listen to the people that are beholding your quote-unquote statements, your book, your coin, your ecosystem. Listen to them. Hear them. If you're really trying to find someone to take that torch to the next level, how are you going to find out what people need if you don't know what the fuck they need? That's as simple as that.
That's it. You're 100% right. All right, boys, I really got to run. I appreciate the time.
Same, brother.
Thank you,
All right,
Allan.
take good care.
The one thing, powering off exactly what you said, there's one thing that I think he does a disservice for himself when he said multiple times on streams that he does not drink and he does not drink and he does not drink. And then he says, I drink if a hot woman makes me. And here's the thing. You are powerful enough that you don't have to drink, even if a hot woman wants to make you. You just say no. You drink your soda, you do whatever you want to, and you don't have to drink. And by compromising yourself one way, you start to compromise yourself in other directions, which I know that you don't want to do specifically. And I don't drink. I don't drink. And no one can make me drink because I don't drink. Have I drank? Sure. Do I drink on my own volition? When I want to, but I don't drink. So that's how it is. You have to hold yourself to the standard that you say that you're at. And there was a quote in your Sci-Vive. It was, don't take investment and realtor advice from a homeless man, just as you won't take life advice from, like health advice from a fat man who smokes. Because if their quick fix is, you can do this in this many steps, well, how come you're not doing it? And that was in his Sci-Vive.
That's the two-faced approach too, because and we're not attacking him. We're only providing constructive criticism based upon what we see. And listen, man, you're a multimillionaire. Hire a fucking chef. this McDonald's shit in your fat ass, talking about everyone else taking care of their health and trying to extend life, meanwhile you don't take care of yourself. It's like me going on stage because I am a bodybuilder, but I don't diet and I don't work out. I just had a salad the day before I went to the gym.
Trainer?
And I ate a salad before I stepped on stage. You know, like all of a sudden I'm healthy. I should be the one that tells you how to be healthy. That's what it seems like, you know? Okay, cool. You're a millionaire. Great. But you're a human being.
Have you considered being his personal trainer? Like literally being hired by him, paid by him?
No. No, because
you would not do
because personal trainers don't make money. This is a decision that he has to make on his own, like every one of us have made. You know, it has to come from within. And that's why I'm kind of a little bit upset with that, because it has to come from within. You have to come ready to make that change. He wanted to make the change for his life financially. He wanted to make the change for himself educationally. He wanted to make the change for himself where he lived, how he spent his money, the adventures that he had. At the end of it, it was taken away from him. Why? Because he's a human. Did he learn from that? Great. Did it humble him? No, it actually inspired him to become more aggressive. Great. But Georgia isn't an aggressive person. A lot of the business people are not aggressive people. They've been through that evolution of their lives. They're looking for his hope, his intelligence, his community. So if you're trying to lead by example, lead from the front. You know, I can't go to you and tell you, become skinny if I'm a fat ass. I can't tell you to become rich if I'm poor. And that just doesn't mean money. It means the way you live your life and the way you show that you can help others to have that same type of life. Money is a tool, but if you're not healthy, what's the benefit of it? If you're not humble, what's the benefit of it? If you can't talk to a woman and you, as he stated, wants to be liked and wants to be loved, okay, then hang around people that have mastered that tool. The offer was given to him by one of the interviewers that he actually did an interview with, and he brushed off that man's comments to him. That man even stated to him, come with us. Sit with Danny Fleischman, who does multi-million-dollar deals every month and helps out communities, people, fundraisers, people that are homeless, and he's still a multi-millionaire, and he still flexes, and he still buys things, and properties, and giraffes, and CEOs, and teaches, but he stays humble. Do the same thing. Go and hang out with the girls. They all do charity events. They all go hang out together. They all sit together. They have the good girls, they have the bad girls. Learn the social dynamics that maybe he's missing. Within his community, people that have money know how to talk to people with money. They can see their deficiencies. They can amplify it or make it a horrific event for them. They can introduce them to a good girl or they can introduce them to a crackhead. But until he gets in the mix of people that can warn him, show him the same way he's warned and shown us about cryptocurrency, he's lost. I'm sorry. He has no dictation to say to get skinny, social skills, all that bullshit. No, sorry. Social media, neither. Because there's people that are doing it better. And if you think you know it all, then why are you trying to find people to make you like you? They should like you. Why are you trying to find more followers? They should already be following you because what you're doing is working. The greatest test is this. There's people right now on social media, on YouTube, who are ex-criminals, cons, got out of jail, and came out with a mindset to shift their lives. And in 5 years, I'm not joking when I say this, there's one guy right now that I posted up on my profile that has more money than Richard Hart, and he's been out of the jail 5 years. Working day and night from his phone. His phone, not a computer, not expensive cameras, from his phone. And you know what he taught? Mindset. Why? Because he did it. He led from the front. And now he's rewarded financially. And he continues to keep that consistency of leading from the front so that way people can be empowered to be around him with the things that he has, but now they can own it. And he shows them how to own it versus criticizing them that they don't have it, or criticizing them because they don't listen to him. It's a different dynamic completely. He's got a lot of growth to do.
You know, and I can't wait to see where all of us are in the next 1 year, 10 years, and 15 years. You know, Trap, you RDS, you Romanian Dan, me, hopefully I can look in the mirror still in 10 years and see that. And is that a Dragon Ball Z shirt? Oh my goodness. I love that. I haven't read the new manga, but we're got to see where we are in the future. So I can't wait to see where we are. And, you know, Trap, I know we have our little frigging kerfluffles, but you got my number. I got your number. We'll always stay in contact. RDS, I don't got your number yet, but, you know, I'm here for you guys. And I can't wait to see where we grow. And, oh, by the way, RD, we're going to work on getting that thing published the best way that we can. Free published health science book.
You have my number. Made. You have my number. I sent you my number. If not, just send me a message. I'll send it to you. Yeah, not a big deal. But I agree with you on something that you just said, and it's very important. And again, it was something that Trap said it was earlier. That's very important. That sense of community and being a part of the community. He really, and I, if anyone's watching this or watches it afterwards on the video replay, and they have his ear, Funding Jim, you guys need to tell him to back the fuck up a little bit. Take 10 seconds to listen to the people that he's inspired, see the community that he's built, and not the ass kissers that are on the other stream doing cons and all that crap. Listen to the people that are talking daily on Twitter, because those people dictate their schedule, their days, and their lives, not to pump their bags, but to educate and to be approachable and to be able to be seen and heard by people that may or may not know what may be the best options available to them in the spectrum of chaos that's going on right now in the world of cryptocurrency, finances, health, financial planning, insurance, life savings, things that are necessary like a job. Most people are hinging too much on the things that he's dictating that is a hopium versus reality. And the reality is you are all a part of a community that this man has seemed to outgrown. But if he tailors himself back just a little bit and listens to you all, I would guarantee you that the perspective that shows the energy, the love, and the want for this ecosystem would re-inspire him again, versus just the simple fact that you have money to spend. That in actuality, again, I know he says he's been a millionaire for whatever, but you are playing with other people's money, because people do work hard to put what little they can, even today, into something that they thought a man developed for their well-being and benefits. And they want to hear from that. They want to see it. They want to touch, talk, and be able to approach that person and or the persons that he's designated to do so with peace and tranquility of knowing that they're going to be educated with the community to have what he has and not just hope for it.
Couldn't have said that better myself.
What do you think, Romanian?
My bad. I was talking to Trap. He said goodbye and everything. But no, I was agreeing with some of your points you made about Richard. But I mean, if he wants to flex like that, I don't know. I mean, like, is it gonna help with the old Richard? I like the old Richard better, but it is what it is.
Well, but here's the consistency that keeps coming across. Everyone keeps saying that they like the old one, right? So
well, of course,
if everyone
you can relate
has that
to him more, someone that's trying to help people and care for people instead of some douchebag buying shit and talking bullshit, like call the Bitcoin top twice, like, obviously, but I don't know. I mean, he's I guess, I don't know. People put him on such a pedestal that it's hard for me to see him as a douchebag yet, But we'll see.
Yeah, exactly, right there. Even Ox Colette said it. He was at our level, He still is at our level. I mean, in reality, Dan, even imagine this. If he came on this stream today, would he be the person that brought us into this community, or would he be the person that's portraying something that others may see that is not the equivalent of what brought us on board? And that's very important, because you and I remember one thing and were brought in by one thing, but now when we present him, it's not the same package, and it's not one that's relatable. That hinders him, not us, because I'm still putting my money in. The contract's there, but it hinders him with new people, for sure.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stop after PULSECHAIN launches. We'll see how it goes, but you know, you get tired of the outreach marketing. It's nice in the beginning, the first few months, you laugh at it, blah blah blah. But now it's, you know, I mean, is it still working? I guess. I mean,
Well, I always bring it up as a side
posting
note.
videos still? I haven't even looked at his stream.
Yeah, I unfollowed him so long ago I couldn't even tell you at this point. But you know what? All the negativity that I keep hearing is the ringing tone versus the positivity. I always bring up Steve Will Do It, the guy that was on YouTube that, you know, made his money. Steve Will Do It, gave away all of his millions, you know, bought things, gave people money, cars, trips, houses. You know, he took his money and he did something to bring awareness to the brand and to himself, and the opportunities that they could actually become wealthy, you know, by someone taking enough time to hear them, see them, and give them opportunities that they didn't have before. You know, not that he has to go out and do that, but he's trying to give opportunities to people that they haven't had before. And it doesn't seem like people are being receptive at this point. They should be more receptive. And here's the kicker behind it. It looks really, really bad when people are trying to do the right thing and all they see is someone taking what they're doing, which is spend their money. They're spending that person's money. He may not see it that way, but that's the optics. Why is he spending our money? You know, you can buy things. I'm not telling you not to buy things, but just take once a month just to sit in a room and listen and be normal. You know, you like wearing a t-shirt? Cool. You like sitting in your shorts all day and picking your nose? Cool. You know, at least be relatable. You know, something that do you have kids? You having problems with girls? You know, did your car break down? You know, like, did someone try to break into your house and take the shit that you spent money on? Tell us, talk to us. The day they talked to everybody about his mom's bidet, did you notice that everybody in the fucking world was like, hey man, I hope your mom's okay. Hey, my mom had the same thing too. It was a relatable story. It was something that, hey, I got to go to the United States. Cool. Finally, it's relatable. We understand because it's family. He had a great amount of visibility then because it was something that people could relate to. Not everyone can relate to going into fucking Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, spending $38,000 unless you're a douche. Because who the fuck needs that much shit? Douchebags. If he wants to be a douchebag, by all means, bro, keep it up. Great job.
I think his streams are missing too. He hasn't streamed in a while. You know, those would bring people together. I know last year he streamed on Christmas, which was nice. You know, things like that. You know, it shows the human aspect of human nature of him, and we can relate to that, like you said. But he needs to stream more again. I don't know where the hell he's been with the streaming. Like, he doesn't have an hour or two to stream a week or a month.
He mentioned specifically that he's on the road, and whether or not I want to believe that or not, he said that he's on the road, and just to get a high quality setup, he doesn't have that stuff with him. That was what he said. So for whatever reason, his laptop setup is not good enough to do what he's doing. So that's
you know what that sounds like. You know what that sounds like?
Excuses.
His priorities are fucked up.
Sure.
Just like his health. Just like his social skills. You got to put priority to it. You know, no one wants to hear excuses. They want to see action and results, not excuses. I sure as fuck don't like excuses. He doesn't like people talking about other projects. Then make yourself available to talk about yours. Simple as that. And again, we're not trying to harp on him. Don't care about it. We're only having a conversation here that is to show, you know, that we respect what he says and what he's done. But, you know, we do bring value to this. Why is our input any less valuable than the leeches that are sitting around him right now, sucking his middle D? You know, God knows how many of the people that are in the film crew or post-film crew or the people that he did during the interview time frame have been totally buttering up his emotions and sentiments and thought patterns, and he's completely distracted. That consistency is no longer there.
Yeah, he's been MIA. Jim Rat said he got subpoenaed, or maybe something like that. They're looking into him, but I don't know about that. But
and even if he did, again, so what? It's just money.
Yeah, I know.
If they sue you, it's just money. You know, he should be the one saying, well, all right, well, you know, this is what's happening, guys. You know, we knew it was going to come. I'm prepared for it. I have the money to fight for it. I know I stand on good grounds. And if my lawyer says not to say anything, well, I just told you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight it. End of story. At least something.
You know what they always say.
Where are you?
No, you know what they say. No expectations, and some people say it's a cop-out. And, you know, that's why I do what I do every day. That's why I enter other community spaces. It's why I talk to as many people as I can, and that's why I spread the education that I do. Because if, you know, our Lord and Savior Richard isn't doing it, well, someone else has got to take that mantle. And I've decided to personally take that mantle and do whatever I can to outreach. And you know what? It's really a thankless job. You know, trying to be the great unifier doesn't always work. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I will always get more dislikes than I will likes. And you know, that's okay. I'd rather be disliked for being genuine instead of liked for being disingenuous. Because, as I always mention, everyone who likes me, and those people that hate me, oh boy, they really fucking hate me. And I have no clue why, but they do.
Don't take that to heart too bad, because even with as much positivity that we constantly spout out on our streams on Twitter, there's always someone who's in some manner it affects them negatively. So yeah, the jealousy factor is definitely a big thing too.
Well, and that's why, you know, I love seeing Romanian Dan. I love seeing when you guys are up there. And, you know, it's why I do what I do. You know, I have nothing but free time right at the moment. And you know what I'm doing? I'm spending that free time how I definitely want to. And I could spend it just sitting around playing video games, doing nothing. But, bro, I get so bored now, even trying to sit down and do that. I find more fun educating people and interacting with people and talking with people than I ever have just literally sitting and playing a video game. That the mindset of those people is so short term that they don't have the same wavelength of thought that even the people in the degen communities do. Like, sure, they're degens, but you just got to say one thing and it flips their mind from being degen mode to, hey, there's something better. Yeah, it's degen, but with a purpose.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to head out. It's been great. Thank you so much for an amazing night. I'm going to head off into the sunset, take off my little head of love, and thank you so much for inviting me again. It's great that we have a chance at least to be seen and be heard and laugh and joke around, and I hope that people take value of these videos, because I know, Romanian, that you put a lot of time, effort, and energy and love to do this. So thank you again for doing this.
Of course, man. Thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
All right, guys. Have
what
a
about you,
beautiful night.
Turtle? Thank you.
I can definitely sit around and still talk with you. I mean, as far as I know, I can keep talking, and I will make this show the exact same as the title. It will always be with me, the worst damn crypto show that you ever have.
Perfect. I probably got to head out soon, but I'm down to stick around for a few minutes and chit chat for sure. So what's up? What do you want to talk about?
You know,
What
honestly,
else?
it's
What else?
Tell me about
Richard a little bit. So now what?
Tell me about your favorite thing that you've gathered from this community and your favorite Hexagon that you've met so far, whether in person or through community spaces.
Probably Phamous is my favorite guy. just because he's so Euro and just he knows a lot, and I look up to him really. What I gather a lot is just I just love the people in the community. You know, I feel like I got a family in the Twitter spaces and just people that I can talk to always that actually welcome me. Yeah, and I mean, from the Hex overall, like you said, the mindset of delaying gratification and just really, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to make it out really with crypto and not have to work and spend time with my family. And I think we can all do that together, make it out together. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I answered your question, but.
Oh, you did. So out of everyone, I remember listening to the old Telegram, and Bitfinesse was one of the very first people that I listened to and talked to, and he told me his strategy of basically a dollar cost average every other week, and you set shit out for 15 years, 5, and you go from there. And then he had this. By the way, Bitfinesse has the prettiest freaking handwriting I have ever seen. He has on his Twitter profile his 2 pages of here's how you set stakes. Bro, there ain't no way that's his handwriting, but it is. And I followed his freaking strategy on staking. And I mentioned it was about 6 months after. I said, hey, man, I followed your strategy. And he says, oh, shit, I feel so bad. I said, why? He says, because I've been staking 5 every single DCA. I didn't stick to that other strategy. Well, he showed what a CD ladder would look like. And that was like, he gave the option of here's the 5 and here's a CD ladder. And I chose the CD ladder because it made sense for me. And I'm very proud that he showed that and he even spent the time to talk to me. And not only that, Papa B has been the best person to listen to in those Telegram spaces and on the Hex conference. So between the two of those, they'd probably have to be my favorite Hexicans that I found because of what they taught me and the values that they brought. And as much as I love the rest of the Hex community, no one is better than the next person. But for what brought value to my Hex experience, it was these 2 particular people. And they're probably going to be my favorite Hexicans. Now, as for, what I gained from the Hex community, I hate always talking about it, but, I made some pretty decent money with Hex. And, a lot of people are like, God damn it, Turtle, you're talking about that one 90% down. Yeah, I'm still up. And it sucks when some people are up and other people are down. But the benefit is, in a bear market, certain people are still up, which is why we are still bullish. The people who bought from the top and now it's down might not be the same way. The people who bought the very, very bottom and where we are right now, they might not be buying Hex. So they don't necessarily care about the price. It's all the other people in between that have a floor that they're going into. And even though I'm still up, I still purchase Hex. I still think Hex is going to go up. It can really do whatever it wants to. And this whole community itself is so giving of their time, which is the most valuable resource that we've all learned, that is probably the best thing that I've gathered from joining any crypto community, specifically Hex now, because you guys are just always there, always want to talk, always open and honest, always transparent. We're literally the blockchain as people.
Yeah, the community is amazing for real. My girl just got home, so she's playing with the baby.
Awesome, man. Well, I will let you spend some family time with the family people. And thank you very much for inviting me here to ramble and make this the worst damn crypto show that it's ever been.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Really, it was a pleasure, and I hopefully you come on in the next few weeks as well. I always like listening to you in spaces. You got a lot to teach, so it's good.
Maybe I'll go on actual video when I can get a beard like yours. So it'll probably be in about 5 years. I'll have something good on my face.
You don't have to if you don't want to dox yourself, But yeah, it's up to you. I feel like you haven't doxed yourself really in the community, right? So you should stay that way. I think it's better.
I had one stream that people saw. Some people have seen me, and I decide whether or not it goes out there. But I have the face for radio.
Nah, I don't. I saw you. I mean, you're not a bad looking guy.
Ooh,
You're not
hey
like,
man, hey, what's up? Hey,
like Josh Soleil or something like that.
oh hey boy, hey, what's up? Maybe I'll take you out for a beer sometime. Yeah, I'll take you out for that beer. Your wife is gonna have to be jealous. Don't worry, it's okay. I'll take you out. I'll bring you back by 7.
All right, man. It was a pleasure. Thanks for
You too,
jumping
man.
on, and well, hopefully we'll do it again. I'll talk to you in Spaces probably.
Sounds good,
We'll
everyone.
do
If
the
you haven't,
outro here.
subscribe and like this stream. You don't have to like it for me, but like it for Dan.
Yeah, if you want to show anything, you can go ahead. We got, I think, 5 people right now watching, so there you go.
Follow Romanian Dan. I do have a couple of clips. Last night I clipped Papa B talking about his passphrase. So if you want to see Papa B talking about... Nah, I'm not going to say it. You got to go watch it. Otherwise, if you do want, go to my profile on Twitter, HexGodTurtle. You'll find it. And just if you don't want Hex on a centralized exchange called Nexo, please click no and talk about how much you don't like centralized exchanges. And if you do, hit yes. Share it out. I want your honest opinions, even if you hate it. Just leave the FU turtles to DMs. That's all I'm asking.
All right, have a good one.
Drop it.
Well,
You too. Stay, guys.
I'll stream again next Sunday, so we'll talk. But yeah, hopefully you'll
Sounds
come
good.
on again. It was a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
What are you, some sort of Mexican?